the GOP delegate process. He also published an editorial in today's Wall Street Journal that asks, quite simply, how has the system been working out for you and your family? In the meantime, the RNC again responding to Donald Trump's criticisms by releasing a memo arguing that every rule in every primary was provided to all the campaigns way back in October. This as we're monitoring that pro-Trump Colorado protest is going on right now, and voters and it's not just pro-Trump, by the way. It's a lot of people who feel like the system is rigged and they were gypped. So what we're getting there is a lot of angry people and a civics lessons. Joining me right now, Kathy Taylor, Kelly Riddell, Daniel Halper, and Adriana Cohen. Adriana, let me start with you. I know you're a Donald Trump supporter. What do you make of the RNC saying two things? A, everyone knew the rules, and B, this is just sour grapes?
Well, I have to be fair and say that there's some truth to that. I mean, it is the responsibility of every candidate to know what the rules are when an election begins. But that being said, I also have sympathy for Donald Trump here because we know, everybody knows that the establishment is behind establishment-type candidates. There's a big Never Trump movement, and he's got the cards stacked against him, which is very unfair. And so we're seeing that play out here during this election.
Yeah, you know, Kelly, even after the delegate situation last weekend, there was I guess we could call it inadvertent tweet, rather, with the Colorado GOP, the hashtag Never Trump, underscoring what Adriana just said. But as far as the process itself, you can argue whether it's fair or not, but do you think Donald Trump had enough time to understand it?
Oh, he definitely had enough time to understand it. These rules went in place in August. What Donald Trump lacked, or what he didn't think he needed, was the money to get out and get the ground game in the organization that he needed. He's self-funding his own campaign, and I think he was caught a little flat-footed here. What we're seeing him now do is regroup. He's hired a convention manager. He's hired Rick Wiley, who was formerly at the RNC as a political director, to kind of get a grasp about these rules and to get a better understanding of them so he can move forward in a more organized fashion.
You know, Dan, there's something to be said. I remember trying to understand this Colorado thing a couple of months ago, and I lost track. I couldn't figure it all out. There is something to be said, though, for the entire process, whether it's our votes counting, delegates who've already made up their minds in states that haven't voted. You can even argue if someone wins 33% of a state and gets 100% of the delegates, that's even unfair. Is this enough of a groundswell that you think that no matter who wins this thing, the voters will get more of a say in the future?
Well, look, it's going to take a lot to overturn the process, but Donald Trump attacking the process, the very institution, the RNC, that is responsible for the delegates, threatens to overturn everything and threatens to throw the whole process into question in the future and perhaps really change the way everything goes. I mean, we could see a total meltdown of the way things operate now. You know,
but I think a lot of people want to see that meltdown, Daniel.
Certainly, a lot of people do. Absolutely. I'm not saying it's not without warrant or not without precedent or not that people don't want it. Obviously, a lot of people do. I think back to Al Gore when he lost. You know, and he got more votes than George W. Bush, but lost the election in 2000. He sort of put his head down and said, this is the system, we play by the rules, and he removed himself from stage. What Donald Trump is saying in this whole process is he's not going to do that. He's rather blow up the entire system than do that, and we've never seen that before, and it's unexpected.
He can't blow up the whole system, though, Daniel. I mean, he can't blow up the whole system. This is more of a marketing play for him.
We don't know.
Oh, he's going by the rules. I mean, there's no way that he can do that. I mean, unless he wins the presidency and then he takes on the RNC. I think what we have here is that the general public was unaware about all the minutia about these delegates, these interstate rules. I mean, this is the first time in years that anyone has gotten this detailed in a primary. And when we start looking at the rules and start figuring them out, we're like, whoa, this system is a little rigged. It is a little rigged for the public, and people don't like it.
Kathy, here's the one thing. We obviously, in the midst of it all, it's like changing a tire in a car that's moving, or in this case, maybe old jalopy. But it is galvanizing, I would think, Donald Trump supporters, and it might play to those independent